Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana, and I am live in my Beehive studio this morning. If you're watching this on YouTube, I am not live, but I'm glad that you joined me anyway, and I love seeing your comments. And if you have a question, please leave it in the section down below, and I will get to it as soon as possible. And this morning, we are creating a card based on a card, our Casing Tuesday challenge. It's a card we choose out of one of Stampin' Up's catalogs, and we give it a makeover. This is just a great way for you to design cards, whether you're a beginner, it gives you like the foundation, or whether you're an advanced stamper like myself, it gets you out of your comfort zone because we have a blogging group, and we let everyone in the blogging group gets to choose a card each cycle, and we get to see a variety of different styles. So it's really helpful for me because it kicks me out of my comfort zone because I like a certain style, and I really liked this card. And I think the card itself in the catalog was a little bit in this little tiny corner. I'll show it to you in a second. And I think not too many people would have really even paid very much attention to the layout of this card. So I'm glad we brought it to everyone's attention. And I hope you'll join us. We have a Facebook group where you can join us and share your own card based on the challenge card. So welcome everyone, and good morning. I am going to turn the camera around, and this card is a tea themed card today. Does anyone like tea? Do you drink tea? I love tea. It is my preferred drink in the morning. I like a good cup of tea, and I like almost all different types of tea, and I also like herbal tea, and maybe growing up in Canada kind of swayed me in that direction because I can't drink that much caffeine, so having a hot drink that you can drink on cold days in the winter is really important to me. So it's nice to have the different tea options. So I grew up, I think the very first tea I ever had was peppermint tea, and I think I was a kid when I tried that the first time, and then since then I've drunk tea all my life. I do drink the occasional coffee too. I do like coffee, but tea is my choice. So let me know, like, if you're listening to this, let me know, like, if you have a favorite tea. Maybe I need to try it. Okay, let me turn this camera around. I just saw Sue's comment. She likes iced unsweetened tea. You know, when we lived in the South, we used to live in Tennessee, and unsweetened tea was pretty big down there. Yeah, and I like that too. And it's great because you know, unsweetened tea doesn't have any calories in it, and it's a nice little caffeine boost. So yeah, I love that. Let me turn my camera around. It's kind of a gray day today, you can see out there, but I'm kind of glad because we're melting a little bit. We got some snow on the weekend, and now we're going into the melting phase. We're gonna have a warm end of the week, so I love that. Yay. Okay, so let me show you the card that we were making over today. This is out of the Celebration catalog, and this is the card. See, they only give us a little tiny piece of it. It's actually kind of a long, skinny card. So I made it into a regular size card, but it has this big focal point right here. And I love this. I mean, this is the little seagulls right here. So this is a very nicely created and framed focal point, but you really don't get to see the full card. Basically, this card just is long and skinny, and it has a banner end to it. So let me just move this over out of the way. This is the card that I made, and this is using the Tea Together stamp set. I'm using this teacup, and I'm using the celebration item, and this is the, let me make sure I get it right, the Tea Time Framelits. And this is a celebration choice right now. So if you spend $100, you can choose this as your celebration choice. I'm also using some other celebration choices on my card today. I am using this paper, the Petal Promenade, which you can purchase or you can get as a celebration choice. The Pearlized Doilies, which you can purchase or get as a celebration choice. So there's a couple of celebration things on here, and that's always nice to have. If you're placing a larger order, then you'll want things that you can get for free that you can choose. What else can I tell you about this card? Oh, so if you don't get the framelits, you could also cut out the teacup. That's perfectly fine too. Of course, I love that we have framelits because then you can just run it through and it's really quick to cut it out. But let's make this card, and I will show you how I made it. So I'll start off with a piece of Whisper White, and I've got my teacup here and my Memento ink pad. Because I'm going to be using Stampin' Blends to color, you want to use Memento, and Whisper White's really a good paper to use for this too. So just stamp the teacup on there. And then I want to add the little rose blossoms, or rose buds, I should say. And these are also in the Tea Together stamp set. See, they're right here. And so you can just kind of center that right on the cup like that. And then we can color it afterwards. Let me see, is there anything else I need to stamp right now? No. I'm done stamping for the moment. All right, let's do some die cutting. And let me bring in the big shot. So we need to die cut two things. We need to die cut this little teacup. So let me pop that on here. Let me grab my little teacup die. And with this one, you just want to take a second to center it. Make sure that top lip looks good, and then make sure this plate down here, the saucer, is centered. And you might want to do a little shifting. You can also look to make sure this piece is kind of framed in the handle. And when that looks good, run it through. Now, just so you know, I'm using my magnetic platform, a cutting plate, my paper, my die, and another cutting plate, and then I'm running this through. Let's set this aside for a moment, and this should just pop out of the handle, that little piece inside the handle. And then we'll need a circle. And I'm using, this circle is the second largest smooth-sided circle and the layering circles framelits. These framelits also come with scallop edges, but I'm using the second largest one. And just another scrap piece of Whisper White, and just cut in the same way. So there's my circle, and I think that's all the die cutting I need to do. Okay, pop that away. So let's get our little focal point done, because this is probably the most important thing in the card is always your focal point, so make sure you do that well. So let's color this little rosebuds. I'm using the Lovely lipstick, and it's the light Lovely lipstick, and I'm just going to come in and color the little rosebuds. We don't have a lot of room here. Not a lot of room to do a lot of shading. So I'm keeping it pretty simple. I'm just going to color it. The nice thing about Stampin' Blends is that it doesn't leave those little marks when you lift up, you know, with a normal marker. When you lift up, it kind of leaves a dot right there. Blends kind of just are nice and smooth. Then I'm using the light Granny Apple Green. Finish off the rosebud. Come in with the green. Okay, now we can do something a little bit to pop the teacup, so it's not just plain and white. So I'm going to use my light smoky slate, and I'm just going to kind of come underneath where there would kind of be a little shadow and do that underneath the bottom of the saucer. I'm going to do a little bit underneath this cup and a little bit underneath. I'm going to switch to my bullet tip. I was laying it on a little bit thick. Just kind of come under and add a little bit of shadow to underneath the cup. And then this color, when I first got the light petal pink, I was like, this is just so light. What am I going to do with this? Well, we really, really, really need light colors in Stampin' Blends because a lot of them have a lot of intensity in color. So it's really nice when we have a nice light one so we can do some shading. And so this is great for especially something that's supposed to be white, like it's a white cup in my mind. So this kind of just gives us a little bit of shading and shadowing effect. So I'm going to use my brush tip and I'm going to come along and I'm going to shade the inside of my teacup. I'm going to come along and just give the handle a little color, and wherever there's kind of a line, I'm going to kind of blend that out. When you look at this, when you looked at my card, you probably didn't even see the shading at all with this light pink. What is it? Petal pink. You probably didn't even notice that I had any pink on here at all because it's so light. But it's just that subtle shading, and it makes it just pop a little bit more. All right, we are all done with the blends. Now we can start to take our pieces and bring everything together. Oh, let's do a couple more things. Okay, so you're going to need a pearlized doily. So I'll pop one of these out. That's going to go on top of my circle. We're going to need that Designer Series paper layer banner on the background. So I'm going to use my triple banner punch, and I've got a piece of the paper already cut to 2 inches by 5.5 inches. Let me open this up, and I'm going to slide it in the slot. Because it's 2 inches, it will fit down the center of the slot all the way to the end. Let me give that a punch. Okay. And then I need some leaves. So I'm going to use some Granny Apple Green because it will match the green on my little rosebuds. So let me see if I can get 3 out of here. 1. By the way, this is the leaf punch. I love the leaf punch because it's kind of the standalone punch that you can use for so many different things. Okay, so let's texturize these little leaves because they look a little bland just like as is. So first I kind of, for each leaf, I kind of pretend there's like a vein down the center. So I kind of fold it in half lengthwise, and then I just kind of crunch them up a bit, just kind of making sure that I don't damage the stem or pull them off. You can kind of see how that works. So I'll do that with all 3. It doesn't take very long. And actually, if you're upset at something, this is a good thing to do. Just to crinkle something up. Get your anger out on the poor little leaves. But it actually is for a good cause because, you know, you're creating little pretty things with your anger. I hope you're not angry though. I seriously hope you're not angry. But it's a good little thing. To do with your leaves because it adds so much texture. Now if you wanted to, you could also do a little sponging, but I didn't do that this time. It was just enough just to texture them. Doesn't that look good? Looks so much better than just the plain one. Let me see, do I need to do anything else? Okay, I do need my card base, so let me show that to you. This is gray granite. It's one of our new colors this year. This piece is 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches, and I've scored it in half at the 5 1/2 inch mark. Okay, and then we need some Tombow glue. By the way, let me grab my bone folder. By the way, if you need to place a purchase today, I reward my customers with free tutorials, free exclusive tutorials that I only share with my customers, or you can buy them outright. But I have a host code, and you can find that in the description of this video. If you place an order with me, you can earn celebration products, and you can earn a free tutorial when you place an order with me. So I'm just going to put a little Tombow in the back. Also below you'll find a link to my email list so you won't miss any of my blog posts. I'm just going to adhere this over about 1/2 inch from the left side. And then let's prep this little piece. So I played around with this a little bit last night. I was like, how would this look the best? And if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I am doily challenged. I have trouble using doilies, but last night I found a great way to use them. If you're doily challenged, if you put your doily right on top of a circle, it doesn't have as much contrast, and it doesn't have all those little holes. It just kind of gives you texture, kind of like an embossing folder, and it creates a nice little backdrop without the stress of a doily. I don't know why I'm doily challenged, but I found a way to use it on this card. And I think, you know, a doily is such a nice thing that goes along with tea. Like if you think about tea, doilies might come to mind, roses might come to mind, so it's all kind of in the theme. So I'm just going to use a little Tombow and put it on the center, and then I have some little spots right here that have a little bit more width, so I'm just going to kind of put a dot on all of those, and that's about as much adhesive as I use. And then I just need to make sure, actually it's easier to do it from this end. If you hold this end, you can just see the little bit of scallop sticking out. So it's easier to do that because you want to make sure that your circle covers up all those holes, because that's the idea. My idea is to make the doily less doily-like, so I like it. All right, so there's the backdrop piece. And then you can take your teacup and throw it around. No, don't throw it around. And remember, this is Whisper White, and I'm using too much adhesive. I'm trying to spread it around a little bit. And then we can just stick this on here. Okay, so then I find it easier to put the leaves on behind as I go along. So I'm just going to put a little bit right here, and I just kind of want this sticking up out of the top like that. There's a method to my madness. You know, I've wrinkled leaves today, but this one I want tucked a little bit more, so you can just see a hint of those last two leaves, because we're going to add one more leaf to the bottom here. So, and then this one just kind of comes down like this. See, it's easier to kind of, for me to build it off the side. So I'm just going to lay this down here for a moment, and I have to do stamping, one more stamping thing. I want to make this into a Mother's Day card, and guess what? We're so lucky. There's a Mother's Day greeting right on there. There's also love is a warm cup of tea, and then there's another greeting up top here. So definitely some nice greetings in here, but if you don't have a greeting out of here that you like, just add a different greeting. There's a lot of room down here that you can add a greeting to it. And by using gray granite, it's very tone on tone and it doesn't overpower our focal point. So I'm just going to tap, 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 tap. And let's see, I want to put that right about here, like that. So it kind of just has a nice flow to it. And then we can take this, put some Tombow on the back. And then just find the perfect spot to put that down. Okay, then one last thing, I want to add just a little bit of twine, and guess what? We have petal pink with silver baker's twine, and I kind of created this double bow already. I don't like to tie bows on camera because I get kind of fussy tying and it's hard. So I'm just going to use a little glue dot, just peel one off. I'm going to put it down here just underneath the bowl of the cup, and then I'll just add my baker's twine bow here, and you can just spread out your little loops a little bit. There! Now this is not your typical Brenda card, is it? It is like kind of, it has a doily on it. It's got kind of like leaves sticking out. Yeah, it's not a typical card at all, but I love how it turned out. And this rose pattern is going to look different on each card. The Petal Promenade paper is beautiful paper. You've got some other roses as well. I could have used this rose pattern as well. I had like about a 2-inch length left over at the edge, so this is perfect for using up leftover scraps from this card, from this paper. So I'm just really happy that I had that I could play with that. And oh, I just love how it turned out, because I don't typically make cards like that at all, but to me it just has a really nice flow to it. So let me check if anyone has any questions. Like, please post them now, because now is a good time. And then I'm going to turn the camera around. Let me scroll up. I have a hard time keeping up with comments while I'm just blabbing and making the card. Thank you so much, Sue, for sharing my video, by the way. Thank you. Okay, Sue says she uses decaffeinated tea. Oh yeah, that would be me too. I can drink caffeine in the morning, like maybe 1 cup, and then after that I have to switch to something decaffeinated, because my body does not like too much caffeine. It does weird things, messes with my digestion. Oh, there's someone from South Carolina, someone from San Antonio. I'm going to San Antonio for On Stage in April. Someone from Connecticut. Awesome. Oh, someone who's doily challenged as well. Well, if you have doilies, I often buy them and then I don't use them. But try this. Try putting the circle behind the doily, because then it just looks like a big circle, but it's got a little texture. Try that trick. That one worked for me. So just played around with it. Okay, I don't think I have any other comments. So let me turn my camera around. Oh, yeah, my chair moved away. Almost landed on the floor. That's not good. Okay, well, we are into the last 3 weeks of celebration. So make sure, if you haven't gotten the things that you want out of celebration yet, make sure you get them this month. The stamp sets should be pretty good all the way to the end. The things that are selling out are the things like the framelits, of course, we already lost the ribbon, but Stampin' Up! Added some more items. So you can get those pearlized doilies, you can get the Petal Promenade paper, and you can get those framelits. these guys right here. You can still get these, so that's great. And, you know, I think the Tea Together stamp set, you know, I think a lot of us held off on getting it right away because it's very much like more into spring and Mother's Day. We're all, you know, first we focus on Valentine's Day, then it's on to Easter. And so a lot of us, you know, haven't, I didn't dive into the tea set right away, but I got it right away. I just haven't played with it right away. So this week I am going to be using it on my my cards and projects. So if you like tea and you want to see some more projects, be sure to keep an eye out on my blog. And as I said, you can subscribe to my email list. If you look in the description of this video, there's a link right there for that. And then I would love to see your cards on the Casing Tuesday Facebook group. Take this layout, take my layout, or take the one from the card and create your own card and share it with us. And I go in once a week and I comment on all the cards that I see. And I hope you will join us for that, because this is kind of the fun thing about this challenge, is that you can see what everyone's creative minds are doing, taking that layout, taking that idea and turning it into something that's their own. So it's a great way to practice things. And if you're new and you wanna, and you have the supplies, you can copy the card exactly. That's also totally allowed. And that's also a very good skill to be able to look at a card and break it down into its components and copy something exactly. Sometimes I do that. So be sure to post your card if you have it on our Casing Tuesday Facebook group. And the link to that is down below as well. All right, guys, I hope you have a great week. I will be back next week with another Casing Tuesday card. Same time, same place. I hope you guys have a great week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.